Hi there, and welcome to Mimileaks. Whether you're new here or returning, please consider subscribing. Your support is appreciated, and it helps the channel's growth. This is the second and final episode in our series looking at the lawsuit of Drake versus his record label, UMG, or Universal Music Group. Drake alleges UMG helped spread a false, malicious narrative about him in its promotion of Kendrick Lamar's 2024 track, Not Like Us. Drake and Lamar collaborated on each other's albums early in their careers, but their relationship would sour as time went on, leading to the two attacking each other publicly and in diss tracks by 2024. These things happen in the world of hip-hop, but did Lamar's Not Like Us or UMG's promotion of it go too far? Or is the content of the song fair game when considering Drake's friendships with minor females and romantic relationships with women just over the age of 18? These questions are not for me to answer, but for your consideration as I read the remainder of the complaint. Please remember, the content may be unsuitable for some. The complaint is over 80 pages, so I will be summarizing portions of it. And now that we've covered all of that, let's get started. UMG engages in a publicity campaign to ensure maximum spread of the defamatory material and deceive consumers. Since initial publications on May 4th and July 4th, UMG has utilized every weapon in its arsenal to ensure that the material spread to the maximum extent possible around the world. A. UMG used social media to promote the material and market the recording's popularity to consumers. In the months since the initial publications and for months after it understood the harms Drake had suffered, UMG repeatedly posted the material to its social media accounts, including Interscope and UMPG accounts. At the time of this filing, UMG has a social media following of approximately 2.21 million on YouTube, 983,000 on Instagram, 712,000 on X, and 624,000 on Facebook. Interscope has a social media following of approximately 937,000 on YouTube, 756,000 on Instagram, and 560,000 on Facebook. On June 9th, Interscope reposted a tweet bragging that Lamar's Not Like Us became the fastest rap song to reach 300 million Spotify streams in only 35 days. The post features the image side by side with a photo of Kendrick Lamar. The post has approximately 604,200 views. On June 20th, UMG posted a carousel of photos and videos to its official Instagram of Lamar performing the recording at a pop-out concert, during which the recording was played 5 times back to back. The post read, "History was made," fire emoji, CC at Kendrick Lamar, and tagged Interscope. That same day, UMPG posted videos from the pop-out performance on its Instagram, which has hundreds of thousands of followers, as well as Facebook and TikTok. Facebook included the main Not Like Us refrain from the recording, while the Instagram post and TikTok published the A minor portion of the recording. On Instagram, UMPG captioned the video, "They Not Like Us" at Kendrick Lamar pops out with his debut performance of Not Like Us at his Ken and Friends Pop-Out Juneteenth concert in LA. Similarly, on TikTok, they boasted that the crowd went wild for the song and the performance of Not Like Us at the concert at the Kia Forum in Los Angeles, California. Greg Morella, president of promotion and executive vice president of Capitol, another UMG label, promoted the pop-out concert on his personal IG page with the same photo posted by UMG. On July 5th, Interscope promoted the video on its Instagram account. The carousel included photos and a short clip of the video with the caption, "Not Like Us, out now." On July 8th, UMPG posted a GIF from the video on its X account, encouraging people to watch the video. Quote, "Tell us, what were your favorite moments from at Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us music video?" along with a link. On July 15th, Interscope reposted 2 X posts, including one from Complex, regarding a fan's creation of the Not Like Us video game. The post depicts images from the video game, which emulate a scene from the video in which an owl-shaped piñata is beaten with a bat and then destroyed. The posts together have 3.5 million views. On November 8th, 2024, following an extensive publicity campaign launched and managed by UMG, the Recording Academy nominated the recording for several Grammys, including the top awards for Record of the Year, Song of the Year, Best Rap Performance, and Best Rap Song, and nominated the video for Best Music Video. Following the release of the nominations, Interscope posted a congratulatory message on its IG. UMG also posted bragging about the nomination for Song of the Year. B. UMG used its ownership interest to promote the defamatory material. UMG used its stake in Complex, a global youth entertainment network, to further promote the defamatory material. Between May 5th, 2024, and the date of this filing, Complex has published at least 50 articles about Not Like Us and posted about the recording hundreds of times across its website and social media accounts. On May 4th, they tweeted a photo of the image and described it for what it was. The cover for Not Like Us is Drake's Toronto mansion with ex-offender app markers. On July 5th, they published an article titled Decoding Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us video, and another titled Every Reference in Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us video. The articles describe in detail the recording's allegations against Drake. On Information and Belief, Universal Music also used its ownership interest in Vevo to over-index the video on its platform. Put differently, Vevo boasted the visibility of video relative to others in order to disproportionately increase its overall views, engagement, and performance on charts. C. UMG grants licenses to promote the defamatory material. UMG also used its Global Publishing Division, UMPG, to license the defamatory material for broader use and consumption. Since the release, UMPG has listed the recording on its website for licensing on television and in film. On the UMPG website, third parties seeking to license songs for audiovisual publications can filter by genre, chart-topping songs, and theme playlist. They market the recording as having a winning/achievement lyrical theme. UMG further promotes the recording for licensing by listing its success on the music charts. For example, on UMPG's website, a third party could search for songs in the Hot 100 singles. UMG also curates themed playlists on UMPG's website for marketing purposes. The recording is currently featured on the Winner's Circle playlist with 26 other songs that can be licensed. As a result of these marketing efforts, UMG has repeatedly licensed the recording to be performed publicly and published on other platforms. For example, on June 19, 2024, the recording was performed 5 times in a row in a concert in Inglewood, California, to a crowd of approximately 16,000 attendees, and a live stream of over 186,000 viewers on Amazon's Prime Video and Twitch. The live stream broke Amazon Music's streaming record for the most minutes watched of any music production ever across Prime Video and Twitch. In the 3 days following, Lamar received nearly 61 million combined official on-demand U.S. streams. The recording represented approximately 21 million of those combined streams, a 62% increase from the 3-day period preceding the concert. This republication on June 19th and its subsequent on other platforms reached more than 21 million people and could not have occurred without UMG's explicit permission. UMG subsequently made the live performance available to be played on the radio, and radio stations played it. UMG has also leveraged its existing licensing with TikTok and Meta to make the recording and video available for use on those platforms. The recording has been used in 1.3 million videos on TikTok. More than 100 TikToks using the recording have been viewed at least 2 million times each, with many being viewed tens of millions. In total, 125 popular TikToks have been viewed over 1 billion times. As of the date of this filing, the recording has been used in over 616,000 reels on Instagram. UMG also granted licensing for the recording to be played at sporting events, award shows, and political rallies. The recording has been played and broadcasted on TV during coverage of games for the MLB, the NBA, and the WNBA. The recording also played during the July 2024 ESPY Awards, an annual award ceremony that honors top athletes and sports performances of the year. During a July 20 campaign rally for VP Kamala Harris in Atlanta, the DJ played the recording to the live crowd, video footage showing the crowd singing along to the lyrics "Certified Lover Boy," "Certified P-File," and "Trying to Strike a Chord and It's Probably A Minor" quickly went viral on social media. The recording also played during the highly anticipated roll call for president during the DNC. The recording blared in the United Center as California Governor Newsom cast the state's delegates. The convention was reportedly viewed by 20 million people across 12 television networks. The recording also became the postseason anthem for the LA Dodgers playoff run and eventual 2024 World Series victory. The Dodgers had featured the recording in a hype video posted to their official YouTube page. Lamar is set to headline the Apple Music Super Bowl 59 halftime show in New Orleans on February 9, 2025, which will be broadcasted on Fox. UMG conferred financial benefits and leveraged existing relationships to secure the headliner spot at the Super Bowl. D. UMG made covert payments to third parties to deceive consumers. In addition to publishing, marketing, and licensing the defamatory material, UMG also put a thumb on the scale by providing covert financial incentives to third parties to further spread the lies against Drake. I. UMG caused third parties to fake streams. UMG, directly or through its agents, conspired and paid currently unknown parties to use bots to artificially inflate the spread of the recording on Spotify. One individual whose identity is unknown to plaintiff revealed publicly on a popular broadcast that Kendrick Lamar's label, i.e. Interscope, paid him via third parties to use bots to achieve 30 million streams on Spotify in the initial days following the release, with the goal of jump-starting its spread and turning it into a crazy hit on the platform. UMG's desire to jumpstart the recording's popularity is unsurprising, because streams beget more streams. Songs identified as top streamers land on most popular lists and playlists, which leads to more streams. The whistleblower described Spotify as the easiest platform to bot because it does not, like other streaming platforms, have security measures when it comes to bot protection. They further revealed that on May 6, 2024, an individual affiliated with Interscope sent him a payment of $2,500 via the digital platform Zelle, and that he was promised another $2,500 and a percentage of the recording's total sales for the initial push. Fake streams are a well-known problem across the music industry. In 2023, the Financial Times reported that experts estimate as much as 10% of all music streams are fake or derived from bots and streaming farms, where services and other streaming platforms run it on loop. Universal, Apple Music, and others participated in a study at the request of the French Parliament, which found that between 1 and 3 billion fake streams took place on popular music platforms in 2021. Publicly, Spotify has stated it's aware of the issue of bots on its platform and is working to address it. In response to Drake's pre-litigation filing in New York State Court, Spotify explained that it invests heavily in automated and manual reviews to prevent, detect, and mitigate the impact of artificial streaming on its platforms. 2. UMG offered undisclosed financial incentives to promote the recording. UMG also offered financial incentives, including direct payments and reduced licensing rates, to various third parties to promote it. These financial benefits were never disclosed to consumers. According to confidential sources recently made known to Drake, certain UMG labels have engaged in pay-for-play arrangements with radio and streaming services to boost the popularity of specific songs and used bots to artificially inflate streaming numbers. Drake has also received information that UMG engaged in a classic pay-for-play scheme by paying to increase the airplay of the recording on the radio, including radio stations in New York. Specifically, Drake received information that at least one member of UMG's radio promotion team made payments to an independent radio promoter who agreed to transfer those payments to radio stations or those employees in exchange for radio stations playing it. This practice was more widespread than one member of the UMG promotion team. This pay-for-play practice, known as payola, is prohibited by the Communications Act of 1934 and has been subject of regulatory scrutiny by a number of executive agencies. In 2006, UMG agreed to pay $12 million in a settlement with the New York AG following an investigation involving accusations that UMG executives had used a broad array of pay-for-play tactics to secure radio airplay for music. In connection with UMG's settlement, the AG explained consumers have a right not to be misled about the way in which music they hear on the radio is selected. He continued, "Pay-for-play makes a mockery of claims that only the best or most popular music is broadcast." Separately, in 2005, UMG was sued by 2 radio promotion companies alleging fraudulent pay-for-play practices. It remains an open secret within the music industry that power players, like UMG, are continuing to engage in payola. In November 2024, New York radio DJ Funkmaster Flex released an alleged price list for payola on radio stations: $350,000 for pop radio, $250,000 for urban, $100,000 for a mix show, and $3,000 to $5,000 per song for local DJs. Other whistleblowers in the industry have also confirmed the use of widespread payola, and some claiming to have proof. UMG also provided financial incentives to streaming platforms to promote the recording. UMG charged Spotify lower than usual rates for the recording in exchange for Spotify affirmatively recommending the recording to users who are searching for other unrelated songs and artists. Third parties have documented strange recommendations in searches on Spotify. On June 3, 2024, a user posted on X of a man typing Eminem into Spotify's search engine and the recording appearing as a suggested result. The user captioned the post, "It doesn't matter what you search on Spotify, you'll see Not Like Us pop up. Spotify picked their side and their algorithm is proof." Others have described similar experiences. Recommended songs, search results, and promoted playlists play a role in determining which music users will be exposed to and ultimately consume. An article suggesting the harms of payola describes that by including songs in suggested playlists, Spotify, and other streaming services, it represents to the listening public that the song has been chosen because it's uniquely aligned to that listener's tastes or the playlist mood, and that the expert curator has judged the song to possess artistic excellence. UMG paid to use these bots to stream the video. They also employed a similar scheme by paying social media influencers to promote and endorse the recording and video. One example, plaintiff understands that UMG paid, directly or indirectly, a popular NFR podcast to promote the recording and video without disclosing the payment. As part of the deal with UMG, the NFR podcast publicly produced podcast episodes, tweets, and other content about the song. UMG conferred financial benefits to Apple Inc. to have its voice-activated digital assistant Siri purposely misdirect users requesting other songs to instead stream the recording. Online sources reported that when users asked Siri to play the album Certified Lover Boy by Drake, Siri instead played the recording. 3. UMG took other unprecedented steps to promote the defamatory material. On May 4, 2024, UMG removed the recording's copyright restrictions on YouTube and Twitch, thereby whitelisting the recording. This action was directed by Interscope's EVP and head of digital marketing, Ramon Alvarez Smickel. The whitelisting was done purposely and with the full knowledge of UMG for the purpose of spreading it and its defamatory content as broadly, as quickly as possible. UMG has a formal ban on whitelisting and had never before whitelisted a song on any platform. In and around June 2024, UMG reinstituted the copyright restrictions on the recording. The effect of whitelisting it was massive and immediate. Able to play it on their own videos in full and to profit from it, content creators rushed to republish it in reaction videos. As a few examples, the Cartier family, whose YouTube channel has 1.4 million subscribers, and as of date of this filing, the video has 2 million views. No Life Shack had a 14-minute clip of his reaction, had 4.7 million subscribers, and had 5.3 million views on the actual video. RDC Gaming posted this on May 5th, 2024, and has 4.5 million views on the date of this recording. Kai Sanat posted a 20-minute video of this. As of the date of this filing, it has 9 million views. These content creators could not have legally republished the defamatory material in full or profited from the reaction videos without UMG first whitelisting the recording. UMG also paid influencers on Instagram and X to post content about the song for the purpose of spreading it to larger audiences. UMG's media campaign successfully spreads the defamatory material to billions. UMG's campaign to spread the defamatory material was successful. On May 4th, 2024, the recording set a new record for the most single-day streams for any rap song in the US, 13 million in 24 hours. Within the first week, the song debuted at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 list with 70.9 million official streams and 5 million radio airplay audience impressions. Just 1 week later, it broke the record for the most streamed song in a 7-day period at 96 million streams, after UMG published it and returned to the number 1 spot on Billboard Hot 100. In the week after the video's publication, the song was streamed an additional 53.8 million times, played on the radio an additional 40 million times, and from July 4th to August 8th, it ranked on YouTube's weekly top music videos chart. On August 6th, the video earned an MTV Video Music Award nom for Song of the Year. The recording has maintained its popularity in the months since. On October 7th, Billboard reported it had reached 45.4 million in total audience impressions on radio, with 15 non-consecutive weeks in charge of the R&B hip-hop airplay list. And the recording remains a top 40 hit on New York-based stations Z100 and Power 105.1. Rolling Stone reflected that with its catchy beat and incendiary lyrics labeling Drake P-File, Kendrick Lamar's latest hit is arguably the biggest moment in music this year, and described the vicious Drake diss as inescapable. Pitchfork called the lyric "Certified Lover Boy, Certified P-File" the defining lyric of the decade so far. The defamatory material has become ubiquitous not just in rap, but in the community at large. It has been heard and or viewed nearly 6 billion times. As just a few examples of the content's broad reach, Joe Rogan discussed the recordings and allegations against Drake on his hugely popular podcast, with 14.5 million followers on Spotify alone as of March of this year, of 2024, as did NPR's podcast, Pop Culture Happy Hour. With every play, stream, listen, view, and mention, UMG has profited. UMG promoted the defamatory material with knowledge of, or reckless disregard for, its falsity and knowledge that it was reasonably foreseeable to cause Drake harm. Just as UMG knew the allegations in the defamatory material were false at the time it was published, it knew that the allegations were false throughout its months-long campaign to promote the material, which continues to date. UMG also promoted it with the full knowledge that Drake had already suffered significant harm, and additional harm to Drake was reasonably foreseeable. UMG's relentless promotional campaign is more egregious in light of the fact that Drake has specifically informed UMG repeatedly of the falsity and of the allegations and harm he's suffering as a result. On July 4th, 2024, Drake, via counsel, sent a letter to Universal Music's general counsel and head of litigation about the recording, which explained that the defamatory material falsely accused Drake of engaging in criminal acts, including trafficking, pedophilia, and or other acts that would require him to register as an ex-offender. The letter made clear that UMG's actions were causing Drake concrete and substantial harm, and specifically referenced the armed attack on Drake's home on May 7th in Toronto. The letter demanded UMG preserve its records in the event litigation was necessary and cautioned that UMG's involvement in perpetuating a false, inflammatory, and dangerous conspiracy theory about one of its own artists is shocking and notorious under the variety of laws, both Canada and the United States. Following a telephone call between counsel for the parties on July 1st, 2024, UMG sent a letter to Drake's representatives in which UMG represented that it understood its preservation obligations and warned that it would be improvident of Drake to pursue these claims against UMG. On August 1st, Drake sent another letter to UMG emphasizing the harm as well that he had to himself and his businesses, and that they were causing and continuing to cause to promote the defamatory material. The letter demanded UMG issue a retraction and accept its responsibility in promoting and marketing the material. UMG's actions did nothing. After receiving 2 notices from Drake about the falsity of the allegations and a description of the severe harm he suffered, they took no steps to address the matter. To the contrary, UMG continued to promote and license the material, including through numerous social media posts boasting of the recording's success and negotiating and paying for the recording to be nominated at the 2025 Grammys and played at the Super Bowl. Throughout the summer and fall, Drake attempted to resolve these claims privately with UMG without resorting to litigation. Their code of conduct requires corrective action on UMG's part and states that harassment is speech that is threatening or abusive, that they prioritize avoiding abusive conduct, including verbal abuse and physical conduct. If another person found it threatening or humiliating, then that counts as abuse. In his introductory comments to the code of conduct, Sir Grange also discusses integrity. Drake expected that UMG would live by its own principles in responding to the abusive conduct, threats, and violence that he had experienced. Yet after weeks of delay, UMG declined to do anything to assist Drake, including going as far as refusing to meet with him for a mediation. UMG instead insisted that it bore no responsibility for any harm and represented that if Drake sued, then UMG would be responding by bringing claims against Kendrick Lamar, and intimated that Drake would face public ridicule for the perception that he had sued another rapper. At no point during any of these discussions did UMG ever suggest that it believed the allegations were true or accurate. As of the date of this filing, they continued to promote and license the material, notwithstanding its plain knowledge of both the falsity and concrete harm to Drake. Also, as of the date of this filing, they have not retracted any of the defamatory material or issued any statements disclaiming the veracity of it or apologized to Drake for the harm it's caused. UMG's actions are motivated, at least in part, by their desire to best position itself in negotiations with Lamar in 24 and Drake in 25. With respect to Lamar, UMG was incentivized to prove that it could maximize his sales by any means necessary, and after only being able to get him to sign on in a short-term exclusive contract, they did. UMG wanted Lamar to see its value in an expedited time frame in order to convince him to re-sign exclusively and for a longer period of time. As to Drake, in 2024, his contract was nearing fulfillment. UMG anticipated that extending it would come at a high cost to UMG, and as such, it was incentivized to devalue Drake's music and brand in order to gain leverage in negotiations for an extension. Their actions were also motivated by its executive incentive structure, which rewards Interscope executives for surpassing the division's annual projections, even if that success had a detrimental effect on one of their artists. Mr. Janik further was motivated to surpass Interscope's 2024 annual goals at the expense of Republic and Drake to position himself to be named as Sir Grange's successor, a position for which Lipman of Republic is also being considered. UMG caused Drake substantial harm by publishing and promoting the defamatory material. UMG published or took part in publishing statements that assert or imply that Drake is an ex-offender, a pedophile, and an ex-trafficker, and engages in other criminal acts that would require him to register as an offender. These claims are false and constitute defamation. A. Members of the public believe and repeat the false allegations. Members of the public have taken the allegations to be statements of fact, even after Drake's public and private denials. On April 30th, 2024, less than a week before the releasing of the recording, UMG released another song by Lamar, Euphoria, that threatened that he won't tell truths about Drake if Drake don't tell no lie about me, and ominously stated that he knew some ish about Drake. To the responsible listener, any future allegations levied by Lamar against Drake would be based in truth and undisclosed fact, not rumor or opinion. Immediately after the release of the recording and image, people all over the internet began repeating the allegations against Drake, believing them to be statements of fact. These posts number in at least the hundreds of thousands. As one user put it, "This isn't a diss, it's the truth. The culture isn't effing with Drake, it's correcting itself by kicking out these predators. Drake, Diddy, etc." Another wrote that the recording is telling the truth about Drake being a pedophile. Others echoed the same. Drake has more than 800,000 dislikes on that song because everybody believes he loves touching children because we have evidence everywhere. Or, "I love this song. We would never have known that Drake is a whole pedophile if this information wasn't exposed." Or, "Respect and love for you, Kendrick, for keeping it 100," and more. Many people reacted to the image, which depicts Drake's Toronto residence and ex-predator icons, and one user asked, "Who are the 13 pedophiles at Park Lane Circle?" demonstrating they believed the image to be accurate and a depiction of who lived there or spent their time there. Others reacted similarly to UMG's initial publication. I'll read a couple of those. "Just realize the thumbnail is from the ex-Predators app, and that many blanks in one spot is crazy. Drake canceled? Oh my god. Yo, ex-offenders have to register. Red means ex-assault against a minor. Drake has 13 of them living in his house?" People all over the internet also questioned why Drake had not yet been arrested and called for the police and many other governmental agencies to investigate the statements on the recording. On comments on UMG's initial publications of the material to YouTube, users commented things like the following: "The FBI needs to come at this point, laughing emoji." Or, "If what Kendrick is saying is true, Drake needs to be locked up." Some comments went so far as to specifically reference Drake's 7-year-old son by name, and also calling for the mother of Adonis, his son, to save the child. Other comments: "Stopped by Compton's Tams, number 21, with the homie for some burgers, and to call at Drake a Jewish blank. You know I had to do it to him. At Not Like Us, at Kendrick Lamar, hashtag Not Like Us, Keek shout out Rosecrans." Oh god. I'll say it. Them Jays are the colonizer. That's who Drake represents. We gotta take our music back from the devils. In a May 10th, 2024 recording of It's Been a Minute, produced by NPR, host Brittany Luce discussed the allegations in the recording with NPR music reporter Sydney Madden and writer Terhaka Love. They understood the recording to be linking Drake and his alleged criminal behavior to other famous figures who were revealed to be ex-predators and later convicted, such as R. Kelly. Madden insinuated that the allegations could be true, commenting that so much dirt has been unearthed. To Love, the allegations rose to the level of warranting an investigation because while this sort of behavior is in our faces a lot, it's unusual for the allegations to come from contemporaries. The podcast positioned the recording as having the potential to be the tipping point for the hashtag #MeToo movement in the hip-hop world. Luce explicitly asked her guest whether they consider the allegations to be true or false, or cause for an actual criminal investigation, and Madden answered by pointing to the trial of rapper Young Thug, who was recently prosecuted in Georgia on RICO charges, in a case where prosecution relied heavily on rap lyrics as evidence. Other celebrities have suggested the possible truth of the allegations. During a set at a May 7th charity event, Seth Rogen commented on how Drake must feel now that people are dancing to a song that calls him an ex-predator, and said, "Could you imagine going to a club and seeing a room full of people dancing to a song about you being a pedophile, especially if you were one? I don't know if he is, but if he was, I assume that would be a very alarming moment in your life. Oh no, they're on to me." Others compared Drake to infamous people who actually had been charged and found guilty of these types of crimes. In comments on UMG's initial publication of the recording and imaged on YouTube, others commented, "Drake is an pedophile and ex-abuser, just like Weinstein, Diddy, and Epstein," and so on and so forth. Believing the accusations, many also repeated for calls of violence against Drake from the defamatory material they read. In the comments section of UMG's first publication of it on YouTube, users made threats like, "Drake better not come with Secret Service type security if he plans on going through LA. And even then, that might not be enough. They not like us," with laughing emojis, and so on. On X, the references to violence continued. Like, "This is one of those situations where you gotta off yourself if you're Drake." Others reveled in the idea of Drake suffering from sexual assault in prison. Belief in the truth of defamatory material persisted in direct response to Drake's denial of the claims in The Heart Part 6. The social media reaction, described before, is just a tiny slice of the public vitriol that has been caused by UMG's defamation in Drake. The spewing of hate against Drake has not been limited to social media. The public has leveraged multiple other platforms to repeat the lies. For example, users have edited the address that appears on Google Maps and Apple Maps at Drake's Toronto address to read, "P-File lives here, and he touches little girls." In the summer of 24, users updated the description of Drake's Toronto address in rideshare applications on Uber and Lyft. Users have edited it to read, "Drizzy touches kids, Drizzy's fun time chamber, and a minor." Less than a month after UMG published the recording and image, author Martin Vidal published an article titled "The Drake-Kendrick Rap Beef, a Case in the Study of Mob Psychology." Vidal explains that mob mentality is a psychological state that causes people to abandon nuance, label anyone who defends the accused as being guilty of the same actions, reward those who perpetuate their cause, and do bad in the name of doing good, even when the accusations are made without supplying any evidence. Vidal concludes that public reaction to the allegations against Drake were classic mob mentality, citing the shooting and other trespassing instances of vandalism at Drake's OVO stores and overwhelming negative public outcry. Vidal explains that this mob mentality is why people can believe the allegations, despite the fact that Drake has never been accused of inappropriate behavior with a minor by any underage or formerly underage person he has interacted with, or families or acquaintances. According to Mike Rothschild, an author and expert on conspiracy theories, accusations of pedophile are particularly ripe for conspiracies. He describes that allegations of child abuse cause people to immediately just lose their mind, even if children don't exist, and even if you just put the suggestion out there, it grabs a hold in a way that is difficult to dislodge. Rothschild also notes that social media exacerbates conspiracy theories because of the spread of information or disinformation and can happen much more rapidly than in the analog age. B. UMG's conduct caused Drake reputational, financial, physical, and emotional harm. UMG's publications have caused Drake reputational, financial, physical, and emotional harm. All of these harms were reasonably foreseeable. The Economist and YouGov polled Americans about their views of Drake in August 23 and May 24. shortly after the release of the recording and image. Drake's favorability rating dropped by 11%, while his unfavorability rose 13%. As of May 24, Drake now has less popularity in the United States than Joe Biden and Donald Trump. As a public figure, his reputation is paramount to his career and is directly related to his financial success. UMG's purposeful spread of the defamatory material unquestionably caused Drake reputational harm. Because of UMG's defamation, millions of people all over the world now associate Drake with PDF files and acts violence against children. Here's some examples. Every time I think of Aubrey now, I just sing Certified Lover Boy, Certified PDF file in my head. Or, don't think his rap career has died, but enough questions have been asked, so there should be notable impact on his career. What am I supposed to tell my kids when they ask me if the allegations are true? They did not even know Kendrick's music, but identified a feeling in Kendrick's music that resonated therewith. These words are scathing to any listener. I got some decision to make after this because I can't play Drake in my ear with this narrative floating around. Dangerous. This reputational harm caused Drake financial harm in an amount to be proven at trial. UMG knew or should have known that the interests it published about Drake would cause substantial harm, as the statements are inflammatory, wrongfully impute criminal activity to him, and damage Drake and his trade. The material has so severely damaged Drake's standing in his community and trade that undoing the reputational harm caused would require a massive and expensive corrective campaign. It is not just the fact that the false allegations have spread to millions, it is about the intensity with which people believe the allegations. Changing people's minds, particularly deeply held beliefs, takes repeated messaging from trusted sources. UMG knows and understands just how destructive false allegations of participating in criminal activities against minors can be. When it happened to them, in regards to the Diddy criminal acts of 24, they moved to dismiss the complaint and called the accusations offensively false allegations of criminal behavior that would be libelous per se if not contained within a legal filing, and knowingly and maliciously false and defamatory. In Grange's words, a single lie can destroy a reputation of integrity, and that while it takes years to build a reputation, it can be ruined in 5 minutes. UMG's conduct has also caused Drake financial and emotional harm. The publication was the proximate cause of the violence against Drake in early May. Following this violence, Drake made lasting changes to his life, including increasing security for himself and his family anywhere they go. The threats of violence continue to weigh on him. With respect to his family, Drake temporarily took his son out of school and away from Toronto for security concerns. And to this day, Drake experiences anxiety worrying about the physical safety of his 7-year-old son and his mother. UMG deceived the public and caused Drake harm. UMG's deceptive business practices, including providing undisclosed financial benefits to third parties to promote the material, were consumer-oriented, deceived the public, and caused Drake financial harm. UMG knowingly provided covert financial records to third parties, including to use bots to stream the recording. They then knowingly promoted the success of the recording and the material, and used that success to leverage more sales and deals. UMG never disclosed these payments to consumers. These covert tactics caused Drake harm. Stream manipulation, like UMG's purchase of fake streams on Spotify and other platforms, harms the artists, like Drake, who collect royalties through legitimate streams, because when there is a sharp increase in the number of streams recorded on the platform without a proportional increase in the number of paying subscribers, there is a drop in the unit value of a stream and therefore a drop in the amount of royalties paid to the rights holders. Additionally, streaming platforms like Spotify use streaming data to proportionately allocate and disperse payments, which means streaming fraud diverts funds from artists whose songs are legitimately streamed by consumers to those who are using automation to falsely create the appearance of legitimate streaming. That brings us to claims. The first claim is defamation. Defamation per se, as in the defamatory material imputes criminal activity and damages Drake in trade and by profession. The material falsely states that Drake engages in criminal acts, victimizes minors, and houses ex-offenders. UMG failed to perform any investigation and dismissed Drake's statements refuting the allegations, someone with whom a long contractual relationship existed. They participated in publishing these statements, which others then repeated and amplified. UMG acted with malice and reckless disregard, publishing the material in such a quantity and time frame that implies their endorsement and is indicative of their financial motives. Their actions damaged Drake's reputation, profession, personal life, and movement through his community. Second claim, harassment in the second degree. UMG published, promoted, and profited from a smear campaign and continues to promote these allegations. They disregard their partnership with Drake, their artist, as well as continued calls for violence against him, and with the knowledge of a security guard's serious injuries at Drake's residence. As a result, Drake has incurred additional security costs and reasonably fears for his safety. Third claim, violation of the New York General Business Law, which prohibits deceptive acts and practices in the conduct of any business, trade, or commerce. UMG violated this law by covertly incentivizing third parties to promote the material through deploying bots on streaming services and by engaging in at least one pay-for-play scheme. These factors misled the song's popularity to customers. As a result, Drake has been injured in royalty distribution for streaming services and lost radio play of his content. As a direct and proximate cause of these three actions, to summarize, Drake has suffered significant general, actual, consequential, and special damages, including, without limitation, impairment of reputation and standing in the community and in his profession, personal humiliation, emotional distress, lost earnings, increased costs in security, and other pecuniary losses. Plaintiff prays for relief or judgment against UMG and in his favor for nominal, compensatory, and punitive damages, attorney's fees, suit costs, and related interest. Drake also requests UMG's explicit declaration of all published statements as untrue, injunctive relief prohibiting UMG from making future statements regarding the popularity of the defamatory material, and other relief as the court deems appropriate. The end of the complaint, not the lawsuit. It will be interesting to see where this takes us and whether litigation becomes commonplace in rap beefs. If you're still here, thank you so much for sticking around. Please like the video and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time and stay safe.